our world is full of paradox, right? Um, and nothing is black and white, but sometimes we want to. Sometimes it's more comfortable to think in absolutes, to think in black and white. It makes things a lot more easy. Like a lot more is not really like proper English, but that's here nor there. But it makes things easier because if somebody asks you a question and you say either yes or no, that's easy to understand. There might be some complexity to your answer though, right? Like if I say, is the sky blue? You say either yes or no. But, if you're a scientist and you're talking about physics or light, you're talking about light and refraction, then you might not answer yes or no. You might say either yes or no, but then you have a justification why you said either yes or no. Because of the spectrum of light, our eyes can only see a certain color, and the rays the light that makes it through the clouds, through the water, is, you know what I'm saying? And you could kind of break it down that way. And that's complexity. A paradox is different. A paradox is where you can't understand. You only can understand it something going in the opposite direction, right? I think that's a paradox. Hold on. I had to look up a simple example. A simple example is it was the beginning of the end, right? It seemed nonsensical, but if you have a conclusion, then you understand the beginning. You know what I'm saying? So, what's my point? My point is that um, you're always going on this app. You're always going to hear something that most of the stuff that goes viral, most of the stuff that get talked about, is partly true or partly distrue, right? Untrue, and it's on you as the viewer to understand the nuances in the topic, right? And we're not experts. Sometimes, like, we like to watch things or some things just come across our radar that we might not necessarily care for, and now the burden of proof. Now the burden is on us to go and figure this out. And we like, man, I got other stuff to do. I just, you know what I mean? And I think that's why TikTok try to keep everything simple. Like if you dancing and entertaining, you get no strikes. But if you talk about things that are complex, it's a lot of strikes, right? Black people live really complex lives. Black people live especially no, I don't want to say especially. Black people live in really complex conditions. You know what I'm saying? Like if you think about the situation that's going on in Burkina Faso, if you think about the condition of America, right? Like where like for example, this lady, what's her name? Can't remember her name, but she just went viral for basically calling the child the N-word, and basically she opened up something like a GoFundMe, but it's a Christian GoFundMe, and she raised like $300,000, right? Last time I checked. Now, the thing about that is that she was actually wrong, but a lot of white people coming to their defense. They put in crazy notes in the thing where you know how when you could donate to somebody, you can put a comment. They putting stuff in there about how white people are tired of being bullied and yada yada yada, right? But mind you, she's the one who attacked this family, chased the 5-year-old kid, and calling on the N-word. Now, the paradox of this is, right, whenever black people are just on these apps talking about the world as they see it and how racism affects their communities, their lives, their work, their everything, a common thing that you'll see is that, oh, y'all love making everything about race, right? But the thing about it is, everything is already about race. This country was built on bad foundation. You know what I'm saying? You can't build a country on a racist foundation and then get mad for people saying, hey, that foundation right there, yeah, I don't think it's going to last because it got a lot of racism in it right there, right in the core of it. You know what I mean? So y'all can start building this house on it, but I don't know if it's going, I don't know if it's going to hold up for another 200 years. Maybe before the country get too big, before this house get too big, maybe y'all should demolish this side of it and fix the foundation, get all of that racism out of it, and then build up the house, i.e. the country, on a good foundation, right? Now, of course, that look like reparations, but whenever black people talk about reparations, it's the thing of, oh, you victims, y'all always want to be victims, oh, y'all always make it about race, and da 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 da. Are we making it about race, or is it already about race, right? When when every when Christianity has become a thing of, I don't want to say Christianity in general, but when white nationalism uses Christianity as its foundation, and white nationalism is built on racism, then you get another one of those houses inside the already messed up house. You know what I'm saying? So we can't, as we navigating through this house, all of these other little all these other little things that's built up on these internal racism foundations are in our way, and we just saying, hey, don't go that way because this is, it's racism. It's a racist dog over there, chained up. So don't go that way. Oh, why you gotta call my dog racist? You know what I'm saying? He just a dog. Yeah, he's just a racist dog though. You know what I'm saying? I remember when I was young, I went to one of the first segregated schools in Philadelphia, and I'm not even that old, right? Leave it. I'm not even that old. But they segregated this school not too long before when I was young. And I'm not no Ruby Bridges or nothing like that, but they used to take black kids from the inner city, bust them out to South Philly, to this school, and we had to, get our Ruby Bridges on. And it was this old white man who used to walk his dog. Every time school let out, he would walk his dog up, the route that we had to go to. And he used to have this big stick. And, we would move out of his way. And he would always say, well, not always, he would say, don't worry, my dog don't bite black people. Now, dogs don't necessarily understand racism, but they understand their masters. If you ever see the pictures of dogs that look like they owners, or dogs that look and act like they owners, it's the same thing. By proxy, your dog is racist. And these are just examples of how every which way that we try to go in this country always leads us back to its foundation, which is racism, because these are things that inhibit our progress in this country. You know what I'm saying? When you look at every aspect, the healthcare system, policing, housing, employment, education, like every prong, every floorboard of this house has racism built into the core of it. So there's no way around it. And it's very hypocritical, and it's very, very hypocritical when you accuse black people of making everything about race, when since its inception, everything has been about race. All of the institutions were built up to keep white people at the top and black people at the out of it at first. But then when they did say, all right, look, y'all could come in because we already got a 480 year head start, y'all could come in. But we won't keep y'all at the bottom by any means necessary. And that's just the long and short of it. I mean, this is a long video, but it is what it is.